लेने दो, हर कौम पुकारेगी हमारे हुसैन।
फरमान मुस्तफा है ये कौले रसूल है, हुसैनो मिन्नी व अना मिनल हुसैन।
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. Let's take a look at what we're discussing in detail. Of course, Pakistan's tour to New Zealand has been announced and we're going to be talking about that. The schedule has been released for the white ball series. Pakistan is going to travel to New Zealand to play 5 T20 internationals and 3 one-day internationals starting from 16th of April till the 16th of March till the 5th of April, I beg your pardon. And this series, of course, coinciding next year immediately after the Champions Trophy. So there's a lot of cricket that is on offer as well. Then we move on and we discuss West Indies tour to England, and of course England have confirmed they're playing 11 for the second West Indies test. Mark Wood is replacing the veteran James Anderson, who has retired from international cricket, from test cricket particularly. It was his last test, and England already lead the 3-match series 1-0 after their victory by an innings and 114 runs. Then we talk about the Women T20 Asia Cup that begins in Sri Lanka. Pakistan team has of course arrived. The tournament is being scheduled in Sri Lanka. They're going to face arch rivals India on the 19th of July to start their campaign. It's great quality cricket. Of course, we've had some disappointing series, but now I think we really need to, if we are increasing the contracts as well, it's been decided that they're going to revisit the contracts, central contracts for women cricketers, increasing them 3 times than what they're getting. They just had an increment as well. Then I think at the same time we can demand performance from them as well. So it needs to be a vice versa process. And then we move on to the Olympic Games, Summer Games of Paris 2024. Pakistan contingent will feature in the games, and athletes and officials are departing in various groups. From the 19th of July, Pakistan is participating in athletics, swimming and shooting. In these 3 categories, we expect a lot of good results from Pakistan. We of course know GM Bashir is participating in the shooting category. He's an outstanding shooter. We've got Ashar Nadeem, who's also participating, so we talk about him as well. And a lot of, I think, prospects are there in terms of victories for Pakistan that we can hope for as well. So we'll talk about that in detail. Time now to introduce the guests for our segment of cricket. Of course, we discuss things in detail. Joining us is cricket commentator, international broadcaster, presenter, and our sports expert, K. Asif Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum Assalam, Ahmed. I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
We've also been joined by cricket expert and analyst Sabir Hussain. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Sabir?
Walaikum Assalam. Ahmed, I'm good. Thank you.
We've also been joined by sports expert Umar Khan. Assalamu alaikum, Umar. How are you? Right, we're going to get Umar back online with us very soon as well. Right, Asif, so the New Zealand tour has been announced, so there's plenty of cricket. We've been discussing matters of the PCB and the fitness test after every 3 months. You just highlighted performance-based evaluation of contracts after every 1 year. So there's a lot that is going on to, affairs that mean business in the PCB. Now we talk about the cricket at large as well. Now, because you have a tour in March that we will be talking about in March or April, you've got 5 one-days and 5 T20s that you're playing as well. So obviously immediately after the Champions Trophy, this becomes your first. So it's a great opportunity to explore some prospects.
Well, Ahmed, I think that New Zealand team visited Pakistan twice in last couple of years, and they played white ball cricket, red ball cricket. One thing is really important, that the New Zealand team came without their main players. Kane Williamson wasn't there, Trent Bolt wasn't there, and some other players, big name like Conway and when we are visiting to New Zealand in next year, so I think I either will go with the same approach or will go with our same players, main players like Rizwan, Babar Azam and some other players. I think that this schedule will be overlapping with IPL, and their players, their main players will be playing IPL. This is what we have observed, witnessed in previous year as well, that when the IPL was happening, their main players didn't come, and 7, 8 new players were here. You criticized, I criticized, everyone was criticizing the policy of New Zealand Cricket Board. So as you said that it would be a good chance for the youngsters, that to give them chance, they will go to New Zealand, because you know that the pitches of New Zealand, they're bouncy pitches, and if they get chance and if they could play well there, I think we could find a couple of prospects in that series. As New Zealand had done, they've given chances to Daryl Mitchell and Rachin Ravindra. Now they're their main players. But I think that once again the mindset of Pakistan Cricket Board, I'm not sure that either we are going, because the Pakistan Cricket Board, they're just focusing on the domestic cricket, which is really good. And you and me, we're talking about a lot. We have talked about the domestic circuit of Pakistan, that how we could improve the domestic cricket of Pakistan, 2, 3, 4 steps, okay. But who will go for the check and balance? And one thing which you have mentioned right before the show, what about the accountability? Yes, the accountability, we have seen a couple of decisions
based on current performances.
Yes, the base of current performance, because in the last 1 year, if Takhar is not performing well, Fakhar Zaman is my friend Sabir won't be happy with my comments that the Fakhar Zaman isn't playing well, is not up to the mark. What's the future of Azam Khan?
A lot of questions.
Yeah, what's the future of Shadab Khan? So either we are taking decisions regarding these players and we are bringing new blood, or we are going with the same approach which we had done in the past couple of years.
Absolutely, certainly a lot of questions still remain unanswered, but obviously I think with time we'll explore those answers as well. But Sabir, some of the potential names need to be identified over here. They've done a good job that they're taking a Shaheen's red ball team and a white ball team to Darwin in Australia for a tour based on different formats. That's great to see Haris captaining the white ball team, and then in the red ball you've got Sahibzada Farhan. A lot of names are there, but obviously this is still a time where you can expand and identify those players as well across Pakistan.
Absolutely, Ahmed, it's very important to have, such kind of Pakistan, Shaheen store, and obviously, emerging tours as well. These are very important for Pakistan Cricket Board, because we have seen, the couple of domestic, top performers are not, given chances as far as the test matches are concerned. But it will be interesting to see, by this PCB management, because we have basically identified a number of players who have, performed exceptionally well at international level. Like we have seen last year, Pakistani basically youngsters, they toured Zimbabwe, and they basically competed extremely well, likes of Amir Jamal, Shanwaz Dani, Sahibzada Farhan as well, Mohammad Haris himself. We basically won Emerging Asia Cup as well. So it is very important for Pakistan to basically identify a couple of players and give them basically consistent chances. I mean, we have talked about Pakistan basically will tour New Zealand for 5 20s and 3 ODIs. It will be interesting to see those players will be selected in Champions Trophy, will be playing Champions Trophy. After then you have to tour Zimbabwe. So in my opinion, better to continue those players who will be playing Champions Trophy, to try to give them consistent chances, rather than after Champions Trophy, if you lose, then again drop a couple of more your senior players, bring some young players. And we have seen last year when Shaheen Shah Afridi was the captain, Hasibullah, Sahibzada Farhan, there are more couple of youngsters basically. They were not given chances as far as their numbers are concerned. And Sahibzada Farhan in press conference, he basically said this categorically, that he basically wants to open for Pakistan, because he has been opening for Pakistan for so many years. I mean, so number is very important for every player, and also consistent chances. We have seen Hasibullah, the wonderful prospect. Okay, Asif always talks about about Hasibullah. He could be a wonderful prospect. Why don't you bring Hasibullah in a couple of ODIs matches and also T20s, because you better to have backup of Mohammad Rizwan, Sarfaraz Ahmad as well. So it will be good for them to have these kind of chances for the youngsters like Hasibullah. There are more Ahmad players, like we have been talking about before the show as well. Pakistan basically management needs to work on spinners. I mean, we have been struggling a lot, especially in the longer format. We have seen Numan Ali, Sajid Khan as well. After Zulfikar Babar, Abdur Rahman, Saeed Ashmal, Mohammad Hafiz. After these kind of 4 or 5, Bilal Asif as well, you rightly mentioned before the show, we basically need to work on spinners. I mean, because what is the main priority of Pakistani PCB? Are they interested to win the T20 tournament or a WC final? Are they interested to play WC final and also 50 over World Cup in South Africa? So this is the time to basically make a pool of 25 to 30 players. Select a couple of 4 to 5 spinners, then 2 to 3 fast bowling all-rounders. We have been struggling a lot. I mean, we used to have a luxury of Anwar Ali, Bilawal Bhatti as well, Hamad Azam. We used to have so many fast bowling all-rounders, but they are basically not properly utilized. So nowadays we have Fahim Ashraf, Amir Jamal as well. This is the time to basically sort it out.
But it's not just utilization that we talk about, Sabir. I agree with your prospect that we've not explored the potential, not given them enough chances. But now we're looking at a two-way approach now. First is that we have asked everyone from the current team right now to play domestic cricket. And at the same time, I think you've given, then at the same time, you need to not just let the national players know they've got to play domestic cricket, but if somebody is performing better than them in domestic cricket, then bring them immediately to the system as well. That's also very important.
Absolutely, like Yasif was saying, Iftikhar Ahmed has been struggling, Shadab Khan, we have seen, Rizwan sometime, better to give them rest, Rizwan, Shaheen and Babar. So they are supposed to play in every format. We basically talked about a couple of years ago when Pakistan basically toured Holland, Netherlands and Zimbabwe as well. Why basically Babar Azam was playing, Mohammad Rizwan was playing, and both of them should have been rested. I mean, we have seen, Danish Aziz, he was a wonderful prospect for Pakistan, but he was basically, made his debut against Zimbabwe and then against South Africa as well. He basically flopped in a couple of matches again, he was dropped. So better to basically rest these kind of players. If the players are performing remarkably well at, in the 8 overs, emerging Asia Cup, or maybe emerging players like Pakistan shines as well, better to give them chances, because if they are performing really well, especially in the domestic circuit or on 8 overs, so they are supposed to be in the national side. We have seen the Indian structure. So they have a backup of 4 to 5 players. They have 4 to 5 wicket-keeper batsmen. They have 4 to 5 openers.
We tend to give them a rest and forget about them. That's what we've done in the past.
True.
But Asif, it has to be very important. Look, you're the one who has probably spent most time with domestic cricketers. You get in touch with them. You're commentating. You're presenting as well. So domestic cricketers need to at least have some line of hope that their performances will be considered, and that's why I'm saying that it needs to be a two-way approach of not letting your current players know that they have to play domestic cricket, but if somebody is better than them, then you have to bring them to the national side.
Well, that's the line. If somebody is better than them, then bring them in the national side and give them chances. This is not happening. And who's the responsible, Ahmed? Once again, that see, if you're not fixing the responsibility, if you're not doing accountability, you cannot bring good results. And this is what we are shouting, and we're raising this point for a long time. So domestic cricket is very much important. You have taken the name of Danish Aziz. He played hardly 20 matches. His average is 37. It means that it's an ordinary record. It's not an extraordinary record. Why I always talk about that, if you're performing so well in domestic cricket and you're performing continuously for 2-3 seasons, as Kamran Ghulam has done, but unfortunately, unluckily, didn't get the chance properly. You have taken a name of Sahibzada Farhan. See, Sabir, this argument, I don't buy this argument that you're saying that the Sahibzada Farhan is saying that I'm an opener. I'm an opener. I do understand, and I'll play only on this position, number 1, number 2. Well, now give me, let me give you some examples. I have already given you these examples in this program. Gilchrist, he used to play as an opener in the ODI and T20. And what about his test number 5, number 6? Same as Rizwan, he used to open in ODI, but in test cricket he come on number 5, number 6.
Well, the only person in Pakistan cricket that has batted in all numbers is Shoaib Malik. So he started.
And what about Abdul Razak?
10, Abdul Razak, Shahid Afridi,
Shahid Afridi even.
Yes.
See, so why I'm saying this, Ahmed, when you're getting an opportunity where the competition is tough, and if you're getting an opportunity, then utilize it. It's not, I mean, you're coming on number 5, 10 overs remaining, go not out to play 40 runs, 45. This is an argument which I heard from Brian Lara, and this is an argument which you can hear from Sachin Tendulkar as well. Let's talk about this master blaster Sachin Tendulkar. I've seen him as an opener. I've seen him as a number 3 player. In Test cricket, I've seen him as number 4. Do you remember the Kolkata Test where their opener and then Rahul Dravid got out? He came on number 5. So it does not mean that if you're coming on number 5, number 6, you will say that I am not able to perform. No, this is a lame excuse. So that's why if Sahibzada Farhan is saying this, and any other player, and if your favorite player like Fakhar Zaman was number 3, number 4.
Your bone of contention has been Fakhar Zaman.
Just for fun,
There is a
just to
reason, Ahmed,
bring
because we have been together for last so
no,
many weeks. I mean.
just to bring smile on the face. That's it.
Of Sabir particularly.
Yeah,
no
Sabir
one
particularly.
else. But I think a lot of these names put into contention need to be discussed as well. I mean, for once, let's just talk about domestic cricketers. For far too long, we've heard the name of Kamran Ghulam. Let's be honest. Mohammad
Umair
Ali,
bin Yusuf,
Umair bin
Abu,
Yusuf has been there.
Huraira.
Huraira has been there. I'll tell you one more name. Faizan Riaz's name has been there.
Yes.
He's
Umair
a
bin
fantastic
Yusuf.
cricketer. Sorry?
This is what I
Umair
said.
bin Yusuf.
Yeah.
Yes, Umair bin Yusuf, yes, like Asim mentioned as well. There have been
Muhammad
a lot
Ali.
of performances. Muhammad Ali's been
Muhammad
there as well.
Umar
Mehran
from-
Mumtaz
Yes.
is another prospect
Yes.
that you can explore. Hasibullah, we talk about him as well. Then I think in the longer run, we also need to particularly identify their strengths based on talent, not only, but what you need to do is, like I keep on saying, that somebody right now, somebody who, for example, right now Nadeem Khan has been given the charge of reforms in domestic cricket. The fact is that somebody needs to set a criteria of a minimum number of first-class matches, Sabir, that will make you eligible for selection for the Pakistan team.
Look, I mean, Ahmed, I was going through the BCCI website. Look, I mean, which kind of respect they are giving to the test matches. I mean, they have to pay more than 45 Indian lakhs rupees per match. If the player is basically supposed to play more than 50% of matches, it means if their matches are 9 matches in a home season for a year, they are supposed to play 5 to 7 matches, more than 50%. Then BCCI will have to pay them 45 lakhs, more than 45 lakhs per match. So this shows basically they are giving respect to the obviously every cricketer basically wants some kind of handsome amount to run the show, to run their family as well. But I mean, what happened here in Pakistan? If the domestic performance, are basically.
But Sabir, last season they did that. For every first-class department or side, the minimum salary that was decided was 50,000 Pakistani rupees. That was decided. That has been given to domestic cricketers. PTV is also a department, so I know some of those laws and regulations as well. There were 2 particular laws. One was that in the past 3 years, you must have played any PCB grade cricket. It can be under 19, it can be senior district, anything for your eligibility. And then the minimum wage was set at rupees 50,000 per player in domestic cricket, particularly.
So there is a huge difference. So if PCBs, they have been saying PCB chairman, every PCB basically chairman says that PCBs, they have lots of money. So I mean, better to invest on players. I mean, if the domestic players are performing really well, like of Kamran Ghulam, we have seen Umar Amin, so many domestic performers. I mean, why don't you give them some additional contracts? I mean, only international players are supposed to be given the category A, B, C. What about Kamran Ghulam, some other players as well? We have seen Tabish Khan, so many players. I mean, they have been playing for 4 decades. I mean, so either they should be given chances to the international side, or they should be given some handsome amounts of money. I would say they are supposed to give some get some kind of contracts from PCB. So PCB basically needs to give respect to the longer format. We have seen lots of future tier programs where PCB are supposed to play 3 test matches. They basically deduct 1 test match and add.
But then again, at the same time, simultaneously, the NOC criteria right now has got to matter as well. If Sabir, let's explore this topic, and Asif as well. Sabir, so if you've decided NOC to players for leagues is now going to be a different policy, so that means your primary job is to make them more focused on domestic cricket. There is no other reason, right?
Yeah.
So then I think the money element should not be important. The quality of that domestic cricket that they're playing should be important.
Absolutely, Ahmed. This is what we have been saying that the quality of domestic cricket has to be improved. We have seen the coach Avid Asif would be the better person to describe the quality of pitches, the quality of cricket being played there, the kind of facilities they have been getting during the 4-day matches. I mean, because K Asif is, he has been covering for so many years. I mean, but what I feel, you have to give respect. You have to put money on the basically domestic circuit. I mean, obviously pitches are very important. We have heard about Ramiz Raja, some previous chairmen drop-in pitches and so. All are basically talks. I mean, you have to have some implementation plans. So findings are very important. But
let's bring that to Asif. Asif, that the quality of domestic cricket that will be played and these players will feature in must be top notch to extract the best positive results. We were discussing off air yesterday that domestic matches had 600 plus scores, 2-3 double centuries, 3 centuries, and nothing was taken out of that criteria. You know, we make PSL a benchmark with no primary spinner, and Azam Khan hitting the makeshift spinners all over the park, and immediately all analysts and critics say that he's the best player of spin right now in Pakistan. This is the kind of damage that we've done to Pakistan cricket.
Well, whenever you take the name of Azam Khan, it reminds me when I have said that he is not an international stuff, and immediately you have talked about those cricket analysts who used to sit over the TV and tell that that the Azam Khan is a future prospect for Pakistan. Do you find them again over the TV, Ahmed, or I think they have disappeared somewhere, those TV analysts?
The quacks or the TV analysts? You didn't use the word today, so I was waiting for that.
Well, okay. I think that the quality of the domestic cricket, it's not on that level, which definitely the other countries are putting effort, like India. Sabir has taken the name. To be honest, let me give you an example. Sabir and Ahmed, I was covering the domestic match. It was in LCCA ground, and 5 or 6 test cricketers said that we will not play here right before the match.
Because of the ground conditions, basically.
You hardly, if I was the player, I have said that, sorry, I will not play.
Playing it.
Yeah, to be honest, that, because you know, your fitness and your, if you are playing with those kind of grounds where you could find
But you've covered,
patches.
you've covered a lot of cricket in Pakistan, globally as well, but because we're talking about Pakistan, when was the last time you can remember you watched a domestic game, you were commentating or you watched it, and you said that, you know, this is a real competition between bat and ball. This is the kind of domestic cricket I want.
Well, very, very tough question, because if I remember 2 years back, I have watched a match when English team came to Pakistan, England team to Pakistan, and right before that, I was commentating in a domestic a match in Rawalpindi.
In the same ground.
The same Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium, where batters, bowlers, they were performing so well. Abrar performed so well. Saud Shakil made a ton there, and then Muhammad Ali was in a very good position. His performance was up to the mark. Muhammad Umar was bowling so nicely. Umar bin Yusuf was playing so nicely. But suddenly, everything changed when the English team arrived at Pakistan, at Islamabad, and we have heard that Pakistan will play over a very straight and
A dead surface. A dead surface.
Straight and dead surface, that's right. Ahmed, the problem is that when you are putting your all resources, your all efforts to the PSL, towards PSL, then you cannot find quality cricket in domestic cricket.
So I watched that match. I was sitting, disguised myself and sitting in the general stand, and I saw, if I'm not wrong, Harry Brook was taking everybody to the cleaners the way he was playing in that game. I saw Haris Rauf was also part of that game, if I'm not wrong. It was Haris Rauf or
no, Muhammad Ali
was part. Yes, Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
So the guy was, really in a rough patch, because you're playing for Pakistan and you get a non-supportive wicket and you are to bowl against. And the English batters were absolutely taking us to the cleaners, but our batters obviously didn't have that confidence. So I think that really troubles things as well. Asif, I remember Asif highlighted this before as well, that the groundsman the groundsman, the captain, the management, the coach, nobody was ready to take the responsibility of that.
Even
pitch.
the chairman cricket board.
Neither the chairman at that time.
Yeah.
So nobody wanted responsibility for that pitch, and that's why I said that you need. And Asif, I think we need to go a bit further back. When Australia came to Pakistan, we were supposed to make a pitch that would suit our advantage, and once again it didn't suit our advantage.
Well, see, this is your planning. And if you're not planning well according to the situations and according to the opposition, then you cannot take results. See, that was embarrassing. You're losing against Australia, you're losing against England, and you didn't win against New Zealand. Well, and then you're playing your home series. When Pakistan, you travel to New Zealand, Pakistan traveled to Australia. We lost in Australia, we lost in New Zealand, and even we lost in England. Well, why? Just because they prepared so well, and Pakistan was just in between. Either we're good with the spin, we'll go with the fast track. I think that when you do not have proper
three different conditions that we lost in,
yes,
particularly.
Yes.
And I think I would have never been worried about the loss in those three conditions had we explored new players. But
That's
we
why
didn't
you're
do that.
sitting. That's why you're sitting and hosting show here. That's why you're not in Pakistan Cricket Board because you take decisions independently, and that's why you're not there. One thing, and secondly, Ahmed, I have asked so many times to the management of Pakistan Cricket Board that why you don't allow the crowd in the domestic matches that your stars are playing and allow them. They said that then we will have the problem of security.
But Asir, I have another particular question. I don't mean it from a prospect of you as a broadcaster or a presenter. We've decided limited NOCs, more domestic cricket, that has been decided. But at the same time, unfortunately, what's happening in Pakistan since the past couple of years, that every now and then there is a different T20 league happening in Pakistan where majority of our youngsters and potential domestic players are playing. That can be the KPL, that can be the SPL. There's another KSL now starting. So why not limit that brand of cricket as well? Why give it so much hype that once again your domestic cricketers for their bread and butter are end up playing those T20 formats which don't have any sort of competitiveness in them?
Okay, I do not have problem with that. If players are playing T20 cricket, plenty of T20 cricket, and if they are getting money, it's okay. But your selection criteria should be with the domestic cricket. That's it. If they're playing
domestic cricket in Pakistan or UAE?
No, in Pakistan, of course.
And also 4-day cricket. 4-day cricket.
That is we are talking about the domestic cricket.
We have been screaming, Sabir, we have been screaming that even at your under 19 levels, you need to prioritize. Even for club championship right now, they have a format of the entire Pakistan Cricket Club Championship based on a 40 over format, which was a great development. But at the same time, I think every twice, in 2 years, once 2 years, or even once a year, if you can manage, you need to bring 2-day, 3-day cricket into the system.
Very true. Look, I mean, there are a couple of ex-cricketers, and they are basically considering PSL is the criteria of as far as domestic cricket is concerned. So let us clarify that 4-day cricket, basically cricketers are supposed to play. They must play 4-day cricket to improve their skills, to enhance their basically performances, whether they are a bowler or a batsman. So the longer you basically play, the more you play, you basically get better and better day by day. So playing 4 to 5 balls, hitting a couple of sixes in PSL, or bowling a couple of good dot balls in while bowling 4 overs in PSL. So you cannot be judged. I mean, you cannot be developed as a proper cricketer, I would say. So better to play 4-day cricket, and then PCB is supposed to basically select the players on the basis of 4-day performances. I mean, we have seen Adam Zampa. He has been playing exceptionally well T20 and also in ODIs as well. So they have only one bowler who has been playing for so many years in ODIs and T20. They have Nathan Lyon. So he basically played more than 100 test matches, I would say.
But there's a particular reason, not because Cricket Australia handled them very well, Sabir, but at the same time you have to give credit to Zampa and Nathan Lyon. Lyon knew that he was the only off spinner in the Australian system. Zampa knew he was the only leg spinner right now for Cricket Australia. Both of them focused on their bowling skill. Unlike our spinner, who immediately turns into a batter and starts playing as an all-rounder. That's what we've done in Pakistan.
So look, I mean, again, this is a prime responsibility of a player. So they themselves have to decide whether they basically opt for a proper all-rounder, or they must focus on their bowling. Like we have seen the great example of Shadab Khan. He was supposed to be a great, leg spinner, but again, he basically focused on his batting. Then we basically used to, even all of us.
Yeah, he's doing well in a particular league. He's doing well, and he also, was heard saying that I hope this form continues in international cricket. That's what he was heard saying.
For me, specialists are very important in every format. Not in T20 format, even for ODIs or for a test matches. You need to have a specialist, or a specialist spinner, a specialist fast bowling all-rounders, a specialist middle order batsman.
Well, my question is still the same. You had Usama Mir.
No,
yeah.
Ahmed,
didn't take him.
Ahmed, the question is that why Shadab Khan lost his form? Why? The question is what is the root cause? If you see, the only answer is that he didn't play domestic cricket from last 2-3 years. He has been focusing on the leagues. He has been focusing on the other cricket, and of course that he was the part of Pakistan cricket team. But even then, once again, that's a very important point. A player will definitely decide himself that what I'll do for the future.
I'll tell you something that somebody told me about Shadab, which was such a nonsense argument. he said that ever since he's been injured, he's not been able to bowl the same. I said he was batting pretty fine. I mean,
He is very good in fielding.
yeah, if I'm struggling,
Yeah.
if I've come back from injury, Hassan Ali came back from injury. Look
Yeah.
at him. He
Thank
immediately
God he
went to
didn't blame
Gazali
Babar
Trophy. He went for Lahore, captain
Guys,
side to
why
victory.
you not taking example of Jasprit Bumrah, a quick bowler, a fast bowler? See his performance right before the injury, and he came back with a new spirit.
Yeah, imagine him saying, "I'm going to bat at number 5. I can't bowl the same because I'm injured."
Yeah.
So it's about priorities, isn't it?
It's all about your priorities. That I see. If you're a spin bowler, and let's talk about and let's start this discussion, that he was very good with his low trajectory flight deliveries. He was very good with his wrong ones. What happened? Because you know, in T20, you'd have to bowl only 4 overs, and you cannot come up with the flight deliveries as Arif Yaqub does. Why I always take Arif Yaqub? Because he's a brave bowler. In difficult conditions, even in shorter boundaries, if you're coming up with the flight, it means that you got plenty of confidence and you're okay with that. And then you're taking wickets and you're winning matches for your team. So that was the problem with Shadab Khan. He was okay with 4 overs, and he used to bowl in different leagues, as he is doing pretty well in Lanka Premier League. But it does not mean that you're okay for the international cricket, because there's a huge difference. And see, even the the level of Lanka Premier League is down than the Pakistan Super League. See the players who are coming there. See players who are coming in Pakistan Super League. You cannot find quality players.
Asif Saklai Mushtaq must be watching our show. So I mean,
Yes,
you know, do
absolutely.
not criticize Shadab Khan.
Saklan bhai, hats off to you.
He took 2 hat-tricks, by the way.
Saklan bhai, hats off to you, and we'll ask this question to Saklan bhai. Saklan bhai, where are the off spinners in Pakistan? You remain with the Pakistan cricket team. You remain in high performance center. We didn't find any good off spinner, and we were expecting something special from Saklan bhai.
But three options right now, Sabir, that Asif also, if you got Arif Yaqub, Usama Mir, and Abrar Ahmed. So all 3 of them, you know, probably, like I said, you know, we're stuck with either a leg spinner or a left arm spinner. Asif is absolutely right that there's been no quality off spinner right now in Pakistan.
Look, I mean, Ahmed, we have seen.
There has been in PTV, but
yes,
not in
I have
Pakistan.
heard that you're a very good
off spinner.
and I have watched you, and I was doing wicket keeping when you were
My
bowling.
coach doesn't like it. He said, he says, ball nahi gir raha iska, but you know.
Do you remember that caught behind? That was edge?
Yes,
A very
it's
sharp edge. Oh,
he's a fantastic wicket keeper. That guy really deserves a place in Shaheens at least. Fantastic youth under 16 cricketer, really deserves a place. Here.
Don't take his name.
Look, I mean, we have seen, you know, a couple of youngsters, they are basically coming up, like stuff, you know, Mehran Mumtaz, everybody's talking about Mehran Mumtaz, you know, Arafat Minas as well, Sufyan Mukim. So these 3 spinners, I mean, could be, you know, useful for Pakistan. So they should be, you know, brought into NCA, high performance center. They should be, you know, I think developed properly. Like stuff, you know, we
But if you want to develop them, I would suggest them not to go to NCA. For considering what's been happening
do
there.
not bring them to the international cricket very fast. I mean, try to, you know, give them a couple of chances in the domestic circuit. Try to, you know, push them in the 4-day cricket. They should, you know, enhance their skills. I mean, bowling, you know, technicalities as well. But you talked about, you
The
know,
biomechanics, as we say, basically.
Very
yes.
true.
Biomechanics.
But I mean, also we have seen, you know, a couple of middle order batsmen. We must not rely on, you know, a couple of Saud Shakil always.
No, I would say this, Sabir. I can identify that right now, entire Pakistan, Saud Shakil is the most technically right batsman across formats.
That's correct.
Simple as that.
Absolutely
Simple
correct.
as that.
And after that, this is what I'm taking the name. Do
Shah
remember?
Masood.
No. Do remember that the Hasibullah
Yes.
will be the bright future of Pakistan.
Umair
Arif Yaqub, and then I'll take the 3rd name. Please give chances to Muhammad Ali. He
God
would
forbid,
be
Samir,
really,
if-
really good
Yes.
in white ball cricket as
Yes,
well.
yes, Sabir.
God forbid, if what about if Saud Shakil gets injured, Imam ul Haq gets injured. So do you have, you know, backup kind of a
Yes,
players? I
yes.
mean, if you talk about for India, for Australia, they have, you know, so many. Even we as a Pakistani, we can, you know, call a couple of more names. I mean, what about Pakistani, you know, backup bench strength? We haven't seen, you know, the as far as the middle order batsmen are concerned. Even we have seen Usman Salahuddin, Asad Shafiq. They have been, you know, badly kind of dealt as far as the.
So,
you know,
Sabir,
selection
most technically batters have come from Sindh. So they've been playing for Sindh particularly. You know, talk about Fawad Alam,
Huraira.
Saud Shakil.
No, Huraira, Umair bin
Asad
Yusuf,
Shafiq.
these could be, you know, wonderful prospects for Pakistan, because these are the youngsters, you know, they have a bright future. The condition.
Huraira is a good technically sound
Yeah,
batter. I think
yeah.
Sabir's really mentioned a right
Yeah.
name. but it's all about the way you're going to handle them. That's very important. So I understand that most of them get disappointed if they're not
And the
selected
last
in the
Ahmed,
PSL.
home series will be the better chance for these youngsters. So better to give them the chances, especially on the home side. So they have some kind of a confidence. So they're not, you are not supposed to give them chances in Australia or in South African bouncy tracks. I mean, again they will be I would say dropped again.
I think
because of the
simple.
poor performance.
We can still, even if we don't go on a hunt for batters, I think you can still. You have to now, because you know that Iftikhar and so-called chapters need to be closed down. You still have the luxury of bringing Abdullah Shafiq into the side.
Yeah.
You know, somebody like him, Hasibullah, as Asif mentioned, make him a regular feature, give him a position, tell him. For these youngsters, you need to identify the role to them as well. It's very important how the management, the captain talk to them. This is going to be your role. This is how we will groom you. Steve Smith is a prime example of a player who was groomed into a role. He came as a leg spinner.
David Warner.
David Warner. You know, we can talk about so many players who came to that side. Right now, India is really investing in Shivam Dube. We're all surprised why, but they realize the future potential that he has in that middle order. They need a left hand. Sanju Samson is there as well. So I think Ruturaj Gaikwad is there. I mean, they've got so many players they're investing in. And it's not for these current 2 years. It's for the next 5 to 10 years that they're thinking about.
They're focusing for the
I
next.
was watching the interview of Rohit Sharma. He was saying that Surya Kumar Yadav, he has been playing their domestic circuit Ranji Trophy since 2009. So it's been 13, 14 years. I mean, someone is
90 games, dear. 90 first class
everybody
games.
saw his saw the sky in T20. Even when he debuted, we were discussing his number of first class games. I still remember that. So I think
And
that's
why
very,
he's
very
360
important.
player now.
Absolutely. But I think the question that Asif raised, why Shadab could, I think it's plain simple. What happens in our part of the world when he wasn't bowling well, when he was bowling well even after that 2017 Champions Trophy, immediately after each passing year, we started seeing a lot of him bat well. So he would play those cameos. Eventually he started thinking, once a player realizes that my prime responsibility is bowling, and I've not done anything in bowling, but I've scored a couple of runs, taken a good catch, my place in the side is secure. That's when things go wrong. So I think that's where you have to make them realize that even if you score 100, your prime responsibility should be how many wickets you're taken. That will always be the criteria. But thank you very much, Sabir and Asif, for joining us on Sports Extra. Always pleasure having you, gentlemen. But that, of course, wraps up the show. Like I said, that it's very important that we talk about the fact that what kind of criteria these players need to enjoy once they come to the Pakistan team. We're going to leave it at that from me and the entire team. It's goodbye for now.
सिर्फ मुसलमान के प्यारे हैं हुसैन, दरखे नौ बशर के तारे हैं हुसैन। इंसान को बेदार तो हो लेने दो, हर कौम पुकारेगी हमारे हैं हुसैन।
फरमाने मुस्तफा है ये कौले रसूल है, हुसैनो मिन्नी व अना मिनल हुसैन।